The song APT by K-pop icon Rosé and Bruno Mars is still setting the charts on fire. According to Billboard, APT has held the #1 spot on both the Global 200 and Global excluding the US charts for 3 weeks straight. But here's the kicker. This smash hit was inspired by none other than Korea's famous drinking game, APT game.
1, 2, 3.
And yep, APT is just apartment said with a Korean flair. Now, fans around the globe have joined the craze, turning up everywhere from stadiums to clubs, creating dance covers and parodies of the song. It's safe to say APT fever is officially worldwide. Believe it or not, APT isn't even the first Korean song with that title. Way back in 1982, Korean rocker Yoon Soo-il released his own song called APT, and it's gaining renewed attention on the charts, thanks to the interest sparked by Rosé and Bruno Mars. Yoon's version explored themes of isolation and rapid urbanization during Korea's 80s apartment housing boom, especially in Gangnam. Musically, it broke from traditional adult melody, introducing a fresh, nostalgic rock sound that still resonates today. For Yoon Soo-il and other young dreamers of that era, apartments were symbols of both hope and loneliness. Growing up in Ulsan, the son of a Korean mother and a former U.S. military father, he made his way to Seoul at 18, chasing his dream to be a singer. He even lived in a small boarding room in one of Seoul's first apartment complexes, imagining the future from his modest corner of the city. Now, over 40 years later, Yoon's apartment is finding new life. And here's the sweet part. Inspired by Rosé and Bruno's success, Yoon Soo-il is planning a fresh remake of his classic hit. As Yoon puts it, just like an old apartment can be reborn through reconstruction, his song has been reborn too, with a little help from a new generation of artists.
If you've ever seen Korean movies like Parasite, Squid Game, or Snowpiercer, you probably noticed a recurring theme: resentment towards social structures that drive economic inequality.
See, in South Korea, this frustration isn't just movie magic. It runs deep. Here, economic disparity is more than a financial gap. It's embedded in the places people call home. In fact, where you live in Korea can say a lot about your social position. Yes, even your apartment can have social status. Housing in Korea? It's way more than shelter. It's a class marker. At the bottom, you've got basements and half-basements. Think cramped, damp spaces that scream struggle. And then, there's the holy grail, apartments. But in Korea, apartments are more than just a place to live. They're like little badges of middle-class honor, a sign you're part of the I've Made It club. Let's rewind a bit to the 1950s, just after the Korean War. Korea was struggling to rebuild and stay competitive with the North. So the government came up with a fast and furious plan to industrialize the nation, and naturally, cities began to pop up everywhere. Housing was urgently needed for the masses, flocking to these new urban areas. And voila, the age of the apartment was born. But this wasn't your average housing project. These apartments became more than shelter. They were symbols of stability, progress, and a ticket into the middle class.
By the 1970s, Seoul's population was exploding, and apartments were the answer to this growth. They didn't just provide housing, they offered a certain lifestyle. Soon, owning an apartment meant you'd officially leveled up to middle-class status. And if that apartment happened to be in Gangnam? Well, that meant you were winning at life. The Gangnam Never Loses myth was born here. Owning an apartment there became a symbol of wealth and social success. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Not all apartments are created equal. Korea's luxury apartments have reached jaw-dropping levels lately. Take the penthouse Cheongdam in the swanky neighborhood of Gangnam, with its 407.71 square meters of pure luxury. It's priced at a mere 16.4 billion Korean won, around 12 million US dollars. Or how about 91 Hanam, the record-breaking complex in Yongsan's Hanam-dong? In July 2024, it sold for 17 million US dollars, making it Seoul's most expensive apartment. These are more than just apartments. They're high-stakes status symbols. Here's an interesting twist. Apartments weren't even originally designed for the middle class. They started in the West as housing for workers. But in Korea, they've climbed the social ladder and become the hallmark of middle-class life. Unique, right? And apartments in Korea offer much more than prestige. These mega complexes have packed in a whole world. Schools, clinics, shops, even election polling stations. That's right. If your complex is big enough, it gets its own voting booth. Who wouldn't want the convenience of democracy right downstairs? Korean apartments also have the local shops and businesses all rolled into one. Back in the 80s, long before massive supermarket chains, these complexes had mini-malls where you could grab your groceries, get a haircut, and do your laundry. And residents had the best access. You could pop down in your slippers for errands. Now, contrast this with North American suburbs, where convenience stores are miles away. Need to get essentials? Better gas up the car and prepare for a haul. But Koreans want it all nearby. Gyms, cafes, schools, you name it. Apartments in Korea aren't just convenient. They're cities within cities. All this high-density living brings another major perk: public transportation. In Seoul, the subway system is a marvel, complete with Wi-Fi, charging stations, screen doors, and even clean bathrooms. The subway was designed to run right through large apartment complexes, making efficient urban planning possible with the help of these clustered housing structures. Meanwhile, in places like LA, let's just say you're better off with a car. And let's not forget delivery culture. In Korea, next-day delivery is the standard, thanks to the compact layout of apartment complexes. Delivering to a single high-rise beats driving miles between suburban homes any day. In the US, it's normal to wait days or worry about lost packages. But in Korea, delivery is fast and reliable, with added perks like the apartment's security guard who can receive packages on your behalf. So, while single-family homes rule the landscape in other countries, Koreans have embraced apartment life. It's high-density living done right, where neighborhoods are more than just buildings. They're lifestyles, reflecting both convenience and social ambition. So, what have we learned from all this talk about APT? Well, for starters, we could just enjoy Rosé and Bruno's addictive song and follow along with the beats of Korea's favorite drinking game. But APT Fever, fueled by Rosé and Bruno Mars, isn't just about a catchy tune. It's a nod to the apartment culture that defines so much of life in Korea, where housing is more than just a place to live. It's a symbol of who you are. And then there's Yoon Soo-il's classic APT, a song that tapped into the dreams, isolation, and hopes of Korea's youth back in the 80s. Together, these songs bridge generations, showing how apartments have shaped, and continue to shape, Korean identity. In Korea, apartments aren't simply walls and windows. They're where culture, class, and community meet. They offer convenience, status, and even the rhythm of everyday life, from subway access to delivery services. In a world where space often defines our ambitions, Korean apartments have become the ultimate blend of aspiration and practicality. It's no wonder APT has hit such a global chord. There's a bit of that dream in all of us.